Hi, this is Mark from Snooker Crazy. Apologies about the light, I'm right next to a window here, but it's the general idea of the video that I'm trying to sort of get over to everyone. This is a very swift video, if I get the timing right, on the coverings that go onto halo cases. Occasionally, the actual top coverings, which are all different designs, they can come away, or they get caught and they're just sort of ripped and people don't know what to stick them back on with. So I've got to get this with the right time, because I don't have a lot of time. So normally what I use is an Evo stick impact contact adhesive. You don't get too long to work with it, but if I've got the timings right, then we can hopefully show you how to repair it if you've got one. So I say apologies about how we're doing this, but it's the only way I can show you. Right, here's a halo case. I call them halo, they're actually made by a factory out in China, but it's obviously Peridans do the halo. I normally use breathing apparatus with this, so look it up if you need to, but for the sake of the video we're not going to. And I normally have a disposable brush. So I can get this in a position where you can see it. If you can protect as much as you can with some decent masking tape, that's probably your best bet. And try and get a brush similar to this is better, because it's got some fine bristles and it can actually get underneath the rim, and there's a rim on this case which you'll see there in the centre, and the leather covering, leatherette is going to push underneath it. So with the Evo stick you have to coat both surfaces, so we're not going to do all of it. I'm just going to give you an example. So it's very difficult to get you all the bits at the same time, but we'll do our best. So be careful with it, because if you get it on the case itself, on the coverings, it's a pain to get it off, although not impossible. Alright, and I'm just going to do a segment of it. Just come up to the edge. I'm doing this at speed, and I'll tell you why for a reason in a minute. Get right down in there. Try and get as close to the edge as you can. Now the top edge of this is the bit that's going to tuck underneath the slight bit protruding on the case, which is that bit. So as I say, let's try and get as close as we can to the top edge. You go and get it on the metal. Don't go putting too much on there. Reason being is if it starts to squeeze out, you're going to be stuck with it because you'll see it. So get it as far in as you can and get it underneath that ridge. But as I say, not too much if possible. Right, cut these edge bits. So that gives you a general idea. Now you're going to have to throw this away unless you've got some sort of thinners to clean it with. I'm going to keep this as simple as I can. Put that away. Now, once the two surfaces have been done, you try and keep them apart. That's why I like to keep a bit of masking tape on it, because you can pin it back and stick it if you like, just to hold it out of the way so it doesn't actually go too early. Now normally when I do this, because you've done the two surfaces, if you wait around 10 minutes, both the surfaces should go slightly tacky, and then when you're confident they are, just by finger touching, that's obviously not, you should be able to push it together. Now when you do, try and start from the piece of the case that is already okay and slowly work it back in. Now I've got a bit that about 10 minutes ago I've done, so I'm hoping that's probably easily there now. And all I would do is take the masking tape off that I had on that piece that I've already done, and I would slowly work my way down. And then you've got this bit that's in a lip. So I've got a nail, which is good, so I can slowly push that in. And you could do that with anything from a cocktail stick to, if you really wanted to, an electrician's screwdriver if you're careful, and just work it in there, being careful not to ruin the thread. And then just gently do it with your hands, and then once you're in, working it in there, you can even stretch it slightly. Once it's in, you can rub off any bits of the glue generally that are there. This is quite a bad case, this one, for some reason. It's got pieces off all over. And that's pretty much, you can see it, that's pretty much it. From there up to there. That could pull that right the way back. So it'll actually come right out. And then I would leave that now for 24 hours. It'll be alright, to be fair, in about an hour. But if you leave it 24 hours, it'll be perfect. But just making sure, just push these bits just in that little ridge. That'll save it getting caught in the future. That generally should be enough. This one is getting very close now. It's probably a bit early, I would say, but I'll give it a go anyway for the sake of the video. As you can probably look at the video and see it hasn't been too long. Again, I just work up and these bits, slowly working your way round. Gently get to that edge. And then personally, I run my nail down there. I haven't got nails to say, use a screwdriver, and then I'll try and force it just that little bit to get to get it to stretch and to get it under that lip. And then afterwards, when it's all dry, if you've got any glue, you should just be able to just rub it off like that normally. And as you can see, that bit's now in. Not too drastic. So give it 24 hours to be perfect, and then I just go in and I do pieces like that. But say this one's, I think this one was a damaged one with water damage. I think a whole load of these got stuck on a container, but they will all go back. So hopefully you get the gist of that. Obviously you can come back to me and ask questions if you like, but standard standard impact contact adhesive, you can get that from B&Q, get it off the internet. I think it was about 7 or 8 quid, so it's nothing drastic, and I've hardly used any out of it. I think that's about it. So for the guys that have asked me questions on how to do the halo type cases and restick it, there's your answer. Hope that helps, and see you on the next video. Ta-da.